Okay, so in 1995 the drug use began. It took a good couple of years of me being secretive and hiding things and changing and becoming a way different person that my family knew. Everybody was wondering what was up, I'm sure. Maybe they even knew that I was on drugs or thought it was just the drinking. But the truth is, from 1995, 96, 97, 98, for 3 years, I was still accepted by everybody, although people were cross with me and upset with me or didn't know why I was doing the things I was doing. I don't think anybody had an idea of the trouble that I was really in with the addiction, and that I was so far in it because I was managing. I was still working on and off, and I was using mainly when I got paid. I was never trying to make a plan for money to go use. It was always working to get money and then using. And then came Susan. That night when I turned around and I saw her standing there, I was waiting for a call back, so I approached her. We had a bit of a conversation. Turns out that she was a working girl. I'm sure you know what that is, a prostitute in Hillbrow. We decided that okay, we'd get the stuff from the dealer and we'd go book into a hotel somewhere. Eventually the dealer came, we got our stuff, we got my stuff. I can't remember if she had anything on her, I don't think so, but yeah, I called a taxi, we took a taxi and started looking for a hotel. It was early in the morning, it was about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, so it was quite difficult, and all the places we went to in Johannesburg we didn't want to be at, so we ended up taking the taxi all the way through to Johannesburg South to Formula 1 Hotel by Southgate. We stayed there the night. When the drugs ran out, I phoned a Nigerian, he got in a taxi, came back, I paid for all of this. Like I say, it was probably payday again, so I had money. Kept us in that hotel for the night. I remember asking her to go to the shop. I remember telling her we need toothpaste. Will she go to the shop? And I was still in the bath, and I gave her my wallet with all my money in, and I asked her to go to the shop. I know it was probably because I was so high I wasn't thinking, but I also believe that I wanted to see if she would come back. And lo and behold, she actually came back. She came back with the toothpaste, toothbrushes, and with all my money. It was now Sunday, I believe it was, because I know I had to get to work the next day. So I paid another night for the hotel. I said she can stay, and I took a taxi home. Before I left, she cried. Must remember, this was a working girl. This was a excellent, great manipulator. So I think I was conned a bit. Anyway, I went home, and that was that. Never saw her again until I wanted to use, and then I decided I need to find her, and I searched and searched in Hillbrow, obviously the next payday, and I eventually found her, and then we became item. I took her with me. We moved into a friend's caravan. He let us stay in his caravan for a while. We stayed there, and we were using. The problem is the using became frequent. It became every day because she had the type of work that she had, because she was doing what she was doing. She was able to have money every day, so we were able to use every day, and this put me in such a spiral. It's unbelievable. We moved into a place together for a little while, and when I came home one night, everything was gone. She had stolen from me. I went and I found her. I found her in Hillbrow. I found her with my things, and like an idiot, I took her home again, thinking I could save her, not knowing that I'm the one that needed saving. Yeah, so we lived together for a while. The timing it evades me. I'm not really sure. I think we were together for about 2 years or so. But anyway, also early in the relationship, we decided to get married. Obviously she had fallen pregnant, so we said, alright, let's get married. Obviously my family wasn't happy about that. They didn't agree with it, so we got married in court. Our honeymoon was at this guy that ran a syndicate, a crime syndicate, at his house. We stayed at his house, bought crack cocaine to celebrate. That's where we stayed. Susan fell pregnant. We weren't sure what we were going to do. We were so deep in the drugs at the time that to be perfectly honest, I don't even think there was a thought of stopping using. I know that she was still using, I was still using. Obviously through the using we lost a baby. My child's name would have been Tacita Jane. It was a baby girl. It would have been Tacita Jane. My sister was there for us throughout the pregnancy. My younger sister, she helped look after us and keep things right. I lied to them so much. I told them everything was okay. I told them, I lied. I was spending all the money. I didn't have money. I was keep on drugs. We were saying we weren't using it, but we were. Things were bad. Then one weekend, I think it was a Friday or a Saturday morning, Susan said that she hadn't felt the baby move. My sister said, no, that can't be right. We need to get you to a hospital. So we went to Marbarton Hospital straight away. They booked her in, they took her in, they done an ultrasound, and while we were standing there when they done the ultrasound, the doctor said no, the baby's heart has stopped. So Tacita Jane died that day, probably because of us. Very difficult to forgive myself for that. And had to wait for them to take the baby out. Only on Monday, they said. She stayed there the weekend. I stayed with her. The Monday morning I needed to go get changed and go home, so I spoke to the doctors and they said, alright, what they're going to do is they're going to induce her now. They'll induce the baby, and that takes a couple of hours, so probably by the afternoon they'll remove the baby. So I left, and then as I got home I got a phone call, and it was Susan, and she was crying and she was saying they've already removed the baby, they've taken the baby, can I come back? So I did. I jumped in a taxi and I went straight back, and this was at this hospital that we were at. I don't want to say which hospital it was, I'm not sure how this all works. The hospital that we were at, where they kept her was all, the room first of all was a mess. Second of all, as I walked in the room, she was sitting on the edge of the bed. Now, the hospital beds, they're high, so your feet don't touch the ground, and there was just blood everywhere, between her legs and down her legs and on the floor, and she was in tears, she was crying. She says when the nurse removed the baby, she held the baby up and said to the other nurse, the new nurse, look, this is what a dead baby looks like. I insisted on seeing my child, so they took me down to where she was being held. Absolutely disgusting. It was basically in the basement. You could see the overhead pipes, the plumbing pipes, all running and creaking, making the noises just like a basement. They opened a huge fridge, and they brought her out, and all I remember from that is her lips. I remember Tacita Jane's lips. I remember how beautifully formed they were. She was fully formed. Susan was 9 months pregnant when she lost the baby, so she was fully formed and she was absolutely beautiful. We had no money. We couldn't bury her, so we had them cremate her. She was cremated. Dates elude me. I'm not sure the dates. She was cremated. I do still have her death certificate so many years later. Yeah, so that happened. And and we carried on. Hi. So just looking back at the last video or the last clip, I realized I've skipped over a lot of things that's happened. So in the next video I'm going to summarize up to now where we are, all the things that's happened, and give you some more insight into other things. But I want to thank you once again for joining me and allowing me to get this off my chest. The hurt is still very, very, very much there, which I didn't expect. You know, it's hard to talk about things that you haven't thought about for so many years. I mean, I'm the type of person, when things hurt me, or when the way I deal with things is I block it out and I forget about it. I've experienced people close to me dying so many times already, and I think everybody's reaction to my reaction is the same. Is that I was once asked at my sister's funeral, actually, why are you so cold? And it's because I block things out, and I realize that now, and that's exactly why I wanted to make this series, basically to allow me to open up. Let's open up these wounds and let them heal properly, because they might have closed, but I think they've still festered underneath. So at least this is a way for me to clear myself. Thank God I've got the time to do it. But you'll probably hear about that as well. So thank you. I hope to see you again next episode. Subscribe, come back. Let me tell you more about my life. I do promise it has got a happy ending. Thanks again. Cheers.